On behalf of the official party, staff and faculty of ICMS, we cordially welcome graduates, family and friends to the 17th Graduation and Recognition Ceremony. Here at ICMS, we're very proud of our students being from all corners of the globe and believe the internationalism of the student population is a big part of our success. Today, we recognise the success of our graduates who represent the following 16 countries from around the world, and they are Australia, Cambodia, China, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Macau, Mexico, New Zealand, the Russian Federation, South Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem performed today by ICMS Event Management student Miranda Tickner. Thank you, Miranda. Please be seated. It is a pleasure to introduce to you today the official party and academic procession. Mr. Darryl Courtney O'Connor, Executive Chairman and Founder of ICMS. Mr. Frank Prestipino, Chief Executive Officer of ICMS. Ms. Anne Whitelock Courtney O'Connor, Chairperson of ICMS Scholarship Fund and Aspiring Education Foundation. Professor Mike Burrell, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academic Operations. Professor Roger March, Head of School of Business and Management. Mr. Bryn James, Head of School Professional Services Management. Mr. John Powery, Academic Program Coordinator for Sports and Property Management. Mr. Alex Mangay, Academic Program Coordinator for Hospitality, and our faculty and staff. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academic Operations, Professor Mike Burrell, to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Colleagues, Chairman, distinguished guests, family, friends, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming you to this ceremony, we would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land on which we stand, the Gurindjai people, and pay our respects to elders, both past and present. I happened to be watching YouTube last night, as many of you probably do, and there's a delightful clip on there, and it's by a guy called Sir Ken Robinson. And you should be encouraged to have a look at Ken Robinson's talk about education. And he talks about innovation and how to constantly encourage people to be innovative, even in the most small and perhaps sometimes in a very casual way. And he tells a delightful story about a little girl called Sally who was in grade 3. And she wasn't very good at many things at school. She wasn't academically inclined, but she had a gift for drawing. And so during the art class, she's sketching away, quite intense. And the teacher came over and she said, "Sally, you're very involved here. What are you doing?" She says, "Oh, I'm drawing a picture of God." And the teacher says, "But Sally, no one knows what God looks like." And Sally said, "Well, you will in about 3 minutes." Innovation is very important, and you should always encourage people to be innovative in their thinking and what they're doing, and take every opportunity in your business life to encourage people to be innovative and do their best. Graduates, we at ICMS are very proud of you, and we know that you have great futures ahead in the business world. Congratulations. Well done. I now call on our Deputy Registrar, Mr. Rob Miles, to formally certify the eligibility of those people who have met the requirements for these awards today.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I certify that all the candidates being presented here today and those graduating in absentia have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the bachelor degree and the diploma they are to be awarded. All associate degree candidates have satisfied their course requirements. Would all candidates please stand?
In the name of the ICMS Academic Senate and by my authority as Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Academic Operations, I admit each of you present and those graduating in absentia to the degrees for which you have qualified or for the courses in which you have met all the course requirements. Please be seated. I would now like to welcome to the stage Alex Mangay, our Head of the School of Hospitality. Alex.
Thank you, Deputy Vice-Chancellor. I present to you the graduates from the International College of Management, Sydney, whom you have admitted to degrees, and candidates who you satisfied their course requirements. Bachelor of Hospitality Management, Josephine Briest. Wen In Fong. Young Gao. Marvin Lenardi. Benjamin Mazzano. Soen Lam Nguyen. Alexandra Zabadowski. Amelia. Laura Beck. Min Chong Cho. Tanit Chotanatapal. Julie Di Carpentry. Yaki Dong. Kristen Elliott. Dennis Finamay. Catherine Gawani. Michelle Yuji Ha. He Fu Ti. He Su Kim. Chu Hee Kim. Soo-in Kim. Ben Kitterly. Takaki Kosaka. Angus Ross Maxwell Kretschmer. Ding Lan. Chung Kyu Lee. Chung Hae Lee. Ming Fung Billy Lee. Min Hyung Yi. Yang U Yi. Quan Tong Lee. Si Xin Lian. Dang Quai Nguyen. Jing Ning. Tat Chon O. Chun Mu O. Ji Yong Park. Kenny Farm. Well done, mate. Emily Rose. Rina Sal. Jae Hun Chin. Angelica Sakura. Nisha Sings Awake. Ruyi Sung. Xingwen Zhu. Cho Shim Yu. Associate Degree of Business, Major Study in Hospitality Management, Kerry Black. Daniela Botha. Elise McLennan. Keong Sa Min. Tagashi Osano. Jennifer Park. Alistair Pond. Well done, mate. Diploma of Hospitality Management. Capucine Chouinasseau. Yon Nam Kim. Mi A Ko. Satoshi Karamoto. Mitsu Maritani. Mohammed Rizki Tiga Santosa. Nok Tova. Diploma of Business, Major Study in Hospitality Management. Marcus Fitzgerald. Christopher Cazal. Deputy Vice-Chancellor. Kaylee Fryer completed all aspects of the degree of the Bachelor of Business Management, Major Study in Hospitality Management, but passed away before this conferral ceremony. Would you please present Kaylee's award to her sister, Stacey Fryer. I present the following graduates who today graduate in absentia. Fabrice Adler, Luke Baker, Rafaela Bickett, Maria Kolstrom, Vincent Chan, Daniel Chinelli, Daniel Duggan, Kevin Esser, Kei Hong, Alan Ho, Marvin Kasser, Janine Lynette, Marcus Lindblom, Charlotte Ludwig, Sandra Neidemann, Nick Rankin. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, that completes the presentation of all graduates from the International College of Management, Sydney. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, and congratulations to all our graduates. One more round of applause, I think. To give our keynote address today, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our special guest speaker, Order of Australia recipients, and our founder and executive chairman at ICMS, Darryl Courtney O'Connor.
Graduates, especially Kaylee. Distinguished guests, colleagues from ICMS, on behalf of the board of ICMS and my wife Anne, welcome to the hospitality graduation ceremony. Congratulations to you all. You've committed over the past 3 years of your lives, what you've committed to over the past 3 years of your lives has paid off. My heartiest congratulations to you. The hard work, the time, the effort you've committed has really paid off. It's a big deal. You have succeeded. For some of you, that must not have been just the accomplishment of your degree, but to also master the English language. The graduation ceremony is significant, this one is, for a number of reasons. This graduation follows the last such joint graduation with Macquarie University. From this time forward, all ceremonies will be with ICMS as a standalone institution. Today we launch with you our new testament, which you have in your hands, the graduation pins which you've been given, the gowns which are specific to the degree specialities, in this case hospitality. Going forward, you're no longer students. That does not mean necessarily that your formal education should cease. I know you are well equipped to deal with the business world. It will not be easy at times, but you each have the skills to succeed. Each one of you will travel a different path. For me, my hospitality work placement began when I was born. I was born in a very remote country district in New Zealand where my father and mother owned a local pub. It had just 10 rooms. One of those was mine. A small dining room which was hardly ever used, but the business in the hotel bars was absolutely massive. The hotel, you see, was the only establishment of its kind that serviced a very large and a high-performance farming district. The township was the hotel. That simply was it. My dad was the banker, especially for the welfare checks. He was the policeman, the focal point for the community's political action, and the hotel served as a church hall for the Catholic Church services in one of the bars. Illegally, the hotel ran 24/7. Closing in those days, you see, was supposed to be 6 p.m, but which was totally inappropriate for a farming community. One of my first experiences as a pre-teenager was to sit in the car park on a Sunday morning and direct patrons either to the Catholic Church ceremony in one of the bars, or for those who wanted to quench their thirst, into another. From there, as a youngster, I graduated to cleaning toilets and the bars. And then finally, at 14 years of age, during my semester breaks, I began to serve in the bars. There was no such thing as a hospitality degree in my day in New Zealand, so my uni qualifications focused on economics and geography. I did not re-enter the field of hospitality as a career until I was 32, here in Australia with an organisation called Lend-Lease Corporation. But my experience all those years ago in running a hotel was ingrained in my blood. It was a second calling. The point I'm trying to illustrate here to you all as I've said previously, is there is not a single strategy to climb a mountain, nor for your career. When thinking about your careers going forward, think about it perhaps in terms of climbing a mountain. A climber just doesn't start out on Everest. They train and practice on small slopes to gain skills and confidence and move on to bigger challenges. A climber will choose a goal, will map out a plan and try to follow it, but change and adapt to overcome the obstacles. You, like they, will equip yourselves and learn from putting yourselves out there on the ledge. Like a climber, you will run into problems, but like them, you will focus on your goal and know there is always more than just one route. You are high achievers, and understand that a positive attitude is paramount above all else. Calculate your risks to overcome the fear which you may have from time to time, which is quite normal. By persistence and determination, and like a climber, take steps outside of your comfort zones to go forward. You may not want to climb Everest, but there is a mountain in your life calling out to be climbed. And with the skill set you have obtained here, it's a pretty safe bet you can do it, once you have made up your mind. Perhaps I should just say at this point, one of the reasons we started ICMS back in 1996 had a lot to do with the fact that in 1986 I founded a hotel company with 10 very small little country motels here in Australia, and managed, with the help of major investment institutions, to grow those hotels from 10 small hotels to the 5th largest organisation of its type in Australia, with some, at that stage, 30 hotels under Country Comfort brand, under the Chifley brand, and under the Australis brand. What we learned, one of the things we learned was the universities were qualifying students in those days in hospitality, which was simply unsuitable for the hospitality industry. The reality was, we found they had to be retrained, particularly in being professional in the workplace. We've tried here at ICMS, with the people behind me, with the experience in this organisation, with the work placement, and with a whole series of other things that we do here, which is unique, is to give you something which no other university will provide. You have the skill to succeed, and you've been there and you've done it. Finally, you have obtained your degree. My belief is your education should continue and just not stop. In my case, I completed my last university qualification when I was 54. Perhaps some of you would like to do a master's at some time down the track. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Darryl. To reflect on their time at ICMS, it is my pleasure to call on Bachelor of Business Management Hospitality Management graduate Julie de Carpentry to give the graduate vote of thanks.
Thank you. Oh, wait, where is it? I can't read like this. Anyway, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Deputy Vice Chancellor, member of the university, fellow graduates, schoolmates, and guests. My name is Julie de Carpentry, and on the behalf of the International College of Management Sydney, I would like to welcome you all to the graduation ceremony 2014. First of all, I would like to thank ICMS for this honor to be able to stand in front of you today and to have the rewarding opportunity to share my experience with you. 3 years already, and look at us today, standing in this beautiful chapel with our family and friends to celebrate our achievement. I'm sure that, like me, you still remember your first day at the college, your first business attire, your first oral presentation, your first enrollment through Aventis, your first late report, your first party, and your first challenge. My first day as a student was in 2011, and I remember it well. I was walking through this Harry Potter's castle and being so intimidated by this environment. I remember thinking that I could never be like those students, so confident, so professional, and so adult. My first lecturer gave us a welcoming speech that I clearly remember. He said, "You will see, times fly. You will be attending your graduation ceremony before noticing that you have actually completed your degree." Well, I have to confess that is very true. We are here today because we made it, report after report, weeks after week, party after party, and a lot of efforts. We can be proud to receive our graduation certificate because we deserve it. To all of you, congratulations. ICMS gave us the opportunity to develop our professional attitude. I'm proud to tell my employees and coworkers of my academic background. We all leave ICMS with a strong business suitcase called Curriculum Vitae, made of self-discipline, knowledge, experience, and value. I would like to take the time to thank all lecturers, teacher, tutor, and professor who made this college so unique. Thank you so much for making every lecture so special. Thank you for your effort, your passion, and for giving us additional time to finish our reports. Thank you for your invaluable support and help throughout the terms. We all leave ICMS today bringing with us a piece of your knowledge, experience, and passion. As Harry Adam once said, "A teacher affects eternity. We can never tell where his influence stops." Thank you. Let us not forget about those who've been there every step on the way, encouraging us, pushing us, and believing in us since the day we were born, our parents. I would like to pass a personal message to my mom and dad today who could unfortunately not be present with us. I would like to tell them that I love them so much and I could not be more thankful for everything they did for me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do what I love the most and chase my dream. Now I would like to talk more about us, students. This time of my life spent at the college and in Manly was by far the most exciting and wonderful time of my life. I met extraordinary people from all over the world. I learned so much from you all, from your culture and your personality. I know now how to say cheers in more than 10 different languages. I owe all of my happiness to ICMS. I met my best friends at the college. I met my love at the Leadership Foundation weekend, but not all stories are appropriate to share. Where would you be without all your friends? Where would you be without those people who pick you up when you need it? For the majority of us, we come from another country, far away from this land. So we end up almost parents and siblings. Some of us will stay in Australia for a little bit longer. Some of you will go back to your country. But I promise you, you will stay in my heart forever. I would like to, sorry. I know we are all nostalgic on this day, but we have to keep in mind that we should not cry because our time at ICMS has come to the end. We just should be happy because it happened. When you will walk away from here today, you may not know what to do next. You may not know where to go, but don't worry, dear graduates. No one knows. The future is not written in the book, and that's the beauty of it. We are our own writer of our future. We have the choice to do whatever we want to do. But the things we can be sure of is that the beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from us. We can all follow our dreams and create our life, but we have to stay strong. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Never let people put you down. Grow up with dignity and ethic. Work hard for what you want, because nothing will be given you for free. Thank you once again, and congratulations to all the graduates to this accomplishment. I wish you all the best of luck in the future and success in everything you undertake. Congratulations, everyone. By tradition, I'm supposed to end this speech by a deep and inspirational quote. Well, I really tried to find one, but I couldn't make my shows, so Hakuna Matata.
Thank you very much, Julie. Graduates, you're now part of another very important group in our college community, the alumni group. To welcome you to the ICMS Alumni Association, I welcome Diploma of Hospitality Management alumnus, Mr. Kent Anderson.
Thank you. Firstly, thanks so much for having me here today. Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations on a great achievement. It's one that I know is going to serve you really well moving forward in your careers. My name's Kent Anderson. I graduated here in, did you say 2001? Oh, 2001, 2002. I failed accounting once or twice, so I can't quite remember. But I'm still involved in hospitality to this day. Insofar as I have a pub in the Rocks called the Glenmore Hotel, which I've had for the past 8 or 9 years. And along the way, I've started up a business coaching company that started out working predominantly with restaurants and bars called Raise the Bar, which is now spread out into other business areas from there. And I can honestly say ICMS has played a significant role in that, so I'm very appreciative to have attended here. So I've been asked to give a few pieces of advice on what you can expect and what it's going to be like out there moving forward. Well, I've in a reasonably good position through both observing my employees and managers at the pub over the years to see what constitutes excellence and moving up the scale, and also within Raise the Bar, within the business coaching company, I'm exposed to hundreds of business owners year in, year out, and I've noticed between both of those there are some similar traits. There are many traits, as Mr. O'Connor said, that will allow you to scale to great heights, but there are 3 that I've noticed all seem to have in common. First up, guys, you've got to have your own vision that excites you. And I know it's a cliche, but it has to be your vision and it has to excite you. If it doesn't excite you, you're not going to make it. You know that statistic about how over 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years or something like that? The idea behind that, they don't close because they don't understand their marketing or their finances or their competitors. Most of them fail because of burnout, that most owners and operators are so tired they have to close the doors. So you've got to love it. It's hard work, and if you don't love it, you're not going to keep on with it, and nor should you, really. So the second part of that is have a plan, but have a written, documented plan. If it isn't written down, it doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. A plan is going to break up that vision for you into nice, achievable little goals along the way. It also stops you from moving into overwhelm, which is a really common habit I notice with a lot of business owners. So often when you're involved in your business, you're so caught up in the day-to-day running of the business that you can't always see the forest for the trees. So having a good plan allows you to step back and see the big picture. It's a way of slowing down in order to speed up, a smarter, faster way of doing things. The third part is probably the most unpopular and the most unsexy part of it all. It is just taking action and hard work. All the visions and plans, none of them are going to work if you're not dedicated to put in those hard yards. A huge part of that with putting in the hard yards is being prepared to make fast, informed, bold decisions. Now, you notice I do say informed, but they've got to be fast, bold decisions. So many operators of businesses and owners of businesses and managers end up putting off decisions because of a fear around what either the consequences of those decisions are or the fact that they have to take action on those decisions. Well, even if those decisions are wrong, you're at least getting closer to finding out what's right. So keep making the decisions and keep moving forward. The ones who don't make the decisions end up getting caught in this sort of holding pattern, and that holding pattern after a while becomes a rut. So make sure you're prepared to do that as well. Have your vision, have your plan, and be prepared to execute that with hard work. The good news is for you guys in hospitality is that I really believe hospitality is a great breeding ground for hard workers, particularly insofar as the work that you do is long, hard, physical, honest work, and it'll really serve you well in that area. I also believe that hospitality people have an ingrained sense of customer service in them that trumps most other industries. But I will tell you something about customer service, which is so important to hospitality moving forward. Customer service, it's not enough. Not anymore, not these days. There's so much competition out there that if you want to stand out, you've got to go beyond just the standard definition of what you view customer service to be. You've really got to stand out. In my business coaching company, in Raise the Bar, we've got 5 core values that we live by. But I'll tell you about the first 2. Number 1 is that we love our clients. Not like as in some tacky cliche slogan on a t-shirt. Like we actually genuinely, authentically love them. Because again, if you don't love them or you're not excited by it, you're shortchanging yourself and them, and you can't move forward. So if we can't learn how to love our clients in that screening process early on, we're not going to work with them. So make sure that you have that sense of it in there as well. But number 2, in terms of this customer service, is that we say as our value is we value remarkable results. So notice we say remarkable results. So in order for something to be remarkable, it has to be worthy of being remarked upon. These days, people don't comment on okay or good. We know they comment on bad, but they comment on remarkable. So again, make sure you have those 3 things in place, that you have a vision that's your vision and excites you, a written, documented plan, and are prepared to put in hard work. So let's look at that. If you've got those 3 things, is that enough in its own? Because I was thinking about the typical people that we associate that kind of success with today, particularly like in the last century. There's obviously, your Nelson Mandelas and your Albert Einsteins, and even people like Bono and John Lennon and Gandhi, you name them. We all know them. But then there's a few others as well. Let's have a look at them. Lance Armstrong, Tiger Woods. Let's take it up a notch. You can go with Joseph Stalin, you can go with Adolf Hitler. All I'm trying to say is, look, I know this sounds like I'm going off on some weird tangent, but these people all here have, dreams and plans and actions, but it's not spoken about often these days. But make sure that along the way to achieving that success, that you keep in touch with that other side of yourself, that along the way to getting there, you do so with integrity, you do so with compassion and gratitude. It's what I call my warrior poet philosophy. I remember watching that movie Braveheart when I was like 16, and I love that final line. It says, they fought like warrior poets, they fought like Scotsmen, and won their freedom. And I thought about that, warrior poets. So we've spoken a lot about that warrior side, achievement, ambition, success, but make sure you are balancing it out with the poet side. The ability to, so that integrity in terms of doing what you know is true and right along the way. Compassion, that underrated term for wanting the best for others as well as yourself, which will definitely help you well in business, and particularly when you're leading people. And last one, gratitude. And I think gratitude is probably the most important one today, because guys, have a look around at where we are and what we're doing, and how many people would give anything to swap for this situation. And if you can't get a sense of that gratitude now, you're missing something. So just before I wrap up, just on that gratitude note, I'd like to say one final thing. In terms of my own gratitude or being thankful for being here today, there's the obvious reasons why I'm very honoured to be included here today, but there's one quick story I'd like to tell you about, which you might not know about, which is why I'm really thankful for being here and being able to speak today. Back in 2001, we had a full college assembly up in the grand dining room. Grand dining room, is it? Great Hall, one of those two. And it's been a while, sorry. So we had this full assembly. I was asked to say a few words, and I made a few jokes that were sort of deemed by some to be a little inappropriate. I thought, funny, looking back on it, they probably were a bit inappropriate. But as that happened, the last thing, at that time, we had a staff member by the name of Murray Wright, who a few of you here will remember. Murray was I guess, in charge of the holding of standards at the college and discipline, and a big Scottish lad, scary fella, good man. I still keep in contact with him to this day, but scary nonetheless. And as I've got down off the stage, he's grabbed me by the collar and led me out into the hallway like a schoolboy, and he absolutely went off at me and berated me. And I stood there looking up at him, but I remember the very last thing he said to me. He said, "Son, you can guarantee it, so long as I live, you will never make another speech at ICMS." So it's a real honour. Thank you.
You showed him, hey, Kent. Thank you very much. So as an ICMS alumnus now, you have access to valuable networking opportunities and a communication platform for you to stay in touch with ICMS and your fellow graduates. So please make sure you link in with us, get on our Facebook pages and the alumni website through our ICMS website. Before we conclude today's ceremony, there are a number of people we would like to thank. And I'd like to ask Frank Prestopino, our Chief Executive Officer, to come up and help me give out these gifts. So the first person we'd like to thank is our keynote address speaker, Mr. Darryl Courtney O'Connor. Thank you very much. Also like to thank our graduate speaker today, Julie de Carpentry, for such a lovely speech. And to Kent Anderson for the alumni address. And I would also like to acknowledge and thank our wonderful singer today. She's coming back later. We have a final graduation ceremony this afternoon. She has left, but I did want to acknowledge her. She has an absolutely beautiful voice, and I'd like to thank Miranda Tickner for doing the anthem today. I'd like to also thank the members of our official party, to our graduates, our special guests, family and friends for coming to this afternoon ceremony. Graduates, a little bit of housekeeping notes before we conclude. The main graduation photo will take place in front of Moran House. Family and guests, please make your way through to the main building to Ingrid Avenue for refreshments and to wait for the graduates after their photo. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding while the official party leads the procession of graduates out of the chapel. That concludes our formalities. Congratulations.